What happens if you kill every faction in Fallout 4? Can you still beat the game? Is the storyline just over? Well, today we'll find out. Howdy, I'm Geezlarry, and this is a whole new style of video as well as a brand new game. So make sure you let me know if you liked the video and let me know in the comments if you want to see more of Fallout 4. Now getting right into it, I couldn't just grab any perks and any old gun and expect to be able to take down the Brotherhood of Steel, the Railroad, the Minutemen, and the Institute, so I needed a game plan. That plan consisted of 3 words: spray and pray. If you don't know, spray and pray is a submachine gun that can be bought from a trader named Cricket. This gun is very, very good. Like, so good that it makes every enemy a walk in the park to defeat. The reason it is so good isn't just because it's a machine gun, or because it's highly upgraded upon purchase, but because it has the explosive legendary effect, which makes each bullet do 15 area of effect damage. Now this gun on its own is very powerful, but there are a few perks you can grab to make it even better. The first of these being Bloody Mess. Bloody Mess is the level 3 luck perk, and when maxed out, it makes you do 15% more damage. This counts for all weapons, so Spray and Pray, which does 31 damage, now does 36 damage. Not great, but that's just the first perk. The second perk we'll use is Commando. Commando is a level 2 agility perk, and when maxed, it makes automatic weapons do double the damage. So our Spray and Pray now does right around 70 damage per hit. The third and final perk that makes Spray and Pray do more damage is Demolitions Expert. Demolitions Expert, which is the 5th level of Perception, makes explosives do double the damage at its highest level, which will make each explosion with every Spray and Pray bullet do 30 damage instead of 15. That means we're looking at a submachine gun that has a fire rate of 127, which means that it shoots 12 bullets per second, 12.7 to be exact. That does nearly 100 damage. So if you shoot an enemy for 1 full second, that means you'll do roughly 1,200 damage. To put that into perspective, the toughest enemy in the entire Fallout 4 game, including DLCs, is the Enraged Fog Crawler from the Far Harbor DLC, which is a health pool of about 2,200 and a damage resistance of 4,000. Spray and Pray cuts one down in 5 seconds. So the weapon and the main 3 perks have been chosen, but what about the special points? If you don't know, special is the acronym for the 7 attributes that form the base of the perk tree of Fallout 4. They stand for Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and Luck. You have 21 points to distribute among these, each one goes to level 10, as well as a special book that you can pick up right after the vault to add 1 more point to any of the attributes. I ended up going with something like this, and I put the point from the special book into Endurance. Now that we have a plan and a character to run it with, it's time to level up as fast as possible, because you have to be at level 49 to max out the Commando perk, so this might take a while. Luckily for you, or maybe unluckily if you want to see 20 hours of gameplay, I didn't record a lot of the early to middle game progress because it was just me running around the Commonwealth, doing side quests, and trying to level up as fast as possible. Now something I forgot to mention earlier is that there are 2 main ways to level up fast. The first is with maxed intelligence, because the higher your intelligence is, the more total XP you get from everything. And the second is what I went with, Idiot Savant. Idiot Savant is the level 5 luck perk, and it gives you a chance to get a 3 to 5 times XP multiplier whenever you get XP. The only downside being that the higher your intelligence, the less likely it is to trigger. So I went with relatively low intelligence, and the only reason I put any points into intelligence at all is because the gun nut perk, which is the 3rd level of intelligence, allows me to upgrade my weapons a lot, which actually isn't even needed now that I'm looking back on it, because Spray and Pray is pretty much as upgraded as you can get when you buy it. So if you're planning on doing a Spray and Pray build, gun nut isn't really required, although it will still be useful for upgrading your other weapons. With that, it was time to be frozen in a cryogenic vault for 200 years and wake up to discover that the whole world now looked like my nephew's bedroom. After I left the vault, I went into Sanctuary Hills and scrapped all of my neighbor's crap and used it to build wire fences. Hundreds of them, all stacked upon each other. This is just because building stuff gives you XP, and with the Idiot Savant perk, multiplying my XP gained, it gives me even more XP. And it's an easy way to level up quickly. I did this until I was around level 7, and then I left Sanctuary to search for my kidnapped son. The first place I looked was in Concord, but all I found there was some raiders, a Deathclaw, and the most annoying NPC in all of Fallout 4.
I got word of a settlement that needs our help.
Then my search moved over to Diamond City, where I learned of a private detective that might be able to help me. Unfortunately for me, he had been abducted by a gang of triggermen. Although after freeing Nick Valentine, I went back to Diamond City and was told about a man that Nick thought was responsible for the kidnapping. I won't say much about the main storyline after that, just so I don't spoil any of it if you care. But throughout doing the main storyline quests, I was also doing a bunch of side quests. It became sort of a ritual every time I played. Get a quest, do the quest, get the XP, find another quest, do the quest, get the XP, find another quest, do the quest, get the XP, etc. Most of the quests I did weren't actually main storyline quests, because I got to a part where I had to look through some dead guy's memories. It wouldn't be so bad, you can mostly skip the memory stuff if you want to, though I wouldn't skip it unless you have already done the mission before. But the whole mission is like 45 minutes of dialogue. That silly Dr. Amari just would not shut her pie hole. Eventually, after I had reached level 30, I bought Spray and Pray and continued with the grind for a few more levels. However, once I reached somewhere around level 35, I grew bored of the same process repeated over and over and over again until my brain was mush and I was drowning in my own drool. And despite the original plan being to wait until level 49 to get the highest commando perk, I decided that it was time for the end. So I lied my way onto the Brotherhood's giant stupid blimp and found the Institute. However, I didn't want my companion to hate me, but I still wanted some backup, so I got Strong. Strong is a super mutant who likes when you do random acts of violence. Boy, was he about to have a grand old time, as well as regular stuff like eating people and whatnot. So with Strong by my side, my gun loaded and ready to go, I unleashed my inner demon and killed them all. After I had committed mass murder upon the good and the evil alike, I wandered through the glowing sea feeling empty, unmotivated. I had accomplished what I wanted to, but there was no sense of completion. There was no sense of victory. It left me feeling empty, and I realized that in my trying to take down the powerful bosses of the Commonwealth that nobody else could, I had become the very thing I feared I would become. I had become the enemy of myself and of the entirety of the Commonwealth. And worse yet, I couldn't even embrace the villain I had become and continue to lay waste to anybody foolish enough to stand in my way, because nothing was left to kill.